So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carlos Oyanedel. This is Kommit, and this is our story. 23rd of August 2012. You might wonder what is so special about this date. In summer 2012, Niels was flying with his paraglider in the Alps. Suddenly, he was caught by strong turbulences in a lonely valley in the middle of the Alps. Right before he was ready to land, his glider collapsed and he hit the ground. Even though the situation was very, very serious, as he couldn't move because of very strong back pain, he was lucky. I was supposed to pick him up from the landing field, and by coincidence, I saw him and I followed him. And I arrived just a few minutes after he crashed. I called the ambulance, and it turned out later that his lower back was broken. But what would have happened if I would have waited in the landing field? This day, we thought for the first time about an automated emergency detection. And this is not just happening to us. 25% of the population in Germany are doing some kind of outdoor sports. Furthermore, with the growing number of elderly people in our society, 71% of those in need of care stay at home. And 33% of women between 20 and 50 years are afraid of walking alone during the night. With Kommit, we will make use of the 125 million cell phone contract in Germany. This means that everyone is always available. But in a situation when you might need it the most, you might not be able to use it, to reach it, to do all the necessary steps in order to ask and get help. We are developing a bracelet, which will be the one calling for help when you can't. Our bracelet will record several physiological and non-physiological parameters for real-time emergency detection. After recording, Kommit will analyze those parameters and evaluate the severity of the situation. Once an emergency is detected, Kommit will automatically send a message to predefined contacts with the location and an audio recording of the situation. One of our main strengths is the large variety of contexts where Kommit is able to detect emergencies. Just imagine a grandpa falling down the stairs, a biker hitting a rock, or a woman approached by a stranger during the night. Therefore, one of our unique selling points is that in all of those situations, Kommit will be able to reliably detect the severity of the situation based on physiological and non-physiological parameters. And beside this context generalization, Kommit will learn about your physiology in order to get more and more personalized. So here you can see a visualization of how our algorithm works. We first calculate an emergency index based on all the recorded parameters. And based on your physiology, not only the emergency threshold is going to be calculated, but also the calculation of the emergency index itself. And for this, we're going to use cloud computing to implement powerful machine learning algorithms as pattern recognition. In the fall 2018, we want to enter the market of women between 20 and 50 years, which consists of 16 million women in Germany. Later, we want to extend our market to sport persons and people in need of care. This will give us a whole market in Germany of 40 million people. And in Europe, this will give us access to a market of 250 million. And on a long term, we want to certify our device as a medical device and use its features for long-term monitoring of cardiac activity. Now, having a look to our competitors, none of them is able to detect emergencies in a variety of situations. They are all limited to certain specific events, like car accident or epileptic seizure. And beside those direct competitors, there are plenty of companies building smartwatches and similar hardware devices, but none of them is able to detect emergencies. Our business model consists of two revenue streams. Our first revenue stream is selling the actual bracelet, and the cost will be below 25 euros. And the second revenue stream is going to be based on the app, which will give us constant revenues based on a subscription model depending on the functionality the customer wants to use. So far, with the setup we have now, we can detect stressful situations, without even using acceleration or motion sensor. And our next step is to develop the fully functional bracelet, the associated app, and the cloud interface. As you heard, Niels and me are coming from different backgrounds. Niels is a trained psychologist, I'm a trained biochemist. We are currently finishing our PhD in neuroscience. As our research focuses on the physiology of sleep, we have been gaining substantial knowledge in online signal processing on a variety of physiological parameters. We are currently looking for financial and legal support, and also technical support for hardware optimization. The story you just heard did not stop Niels of flying, me trusting him. We keep flying together. Feel safe, your body talks to us. Kommit.